I picked up this book because it had a nice cover. I checked it on Goodreads. At the time, it had over a 4. It still does have over a 4. So I said, hey, this has over a 4, and adults are vicious. When they review books, they be throwing out 2s and 3s like candy. Whereas adults who read YA, they're a little bit more lenient. But if you find an adult book that has over a 4, get it. That is what I have learned. It is fabulous if it has over a 4 and it's an adult book, because adults are tough on adult books. It had over a 4, so I grabbed it. Oh, hello. You caught me reading again. I'm Dawn, and welcome to episode 3 of Will Dawn Be Able to Guess the Murderer in a Crime Fiction Novel? In my last video, I had a comment that said, a compliment, but then oh, true crime is actually nonfiction. I'm a librarian. Don't you think I know that? I know that. However, true crime sounds better in a title. It's called creative license. For some reason, people on the internet just love to correct other people. It's like they're just waiting for people to mess up so that they can correct them. If you're that type of person who does that, stop. It's obnoxious. This is episode 3 and final of this series where I try to guess the murderer in a crime fiction novel. I'm still going to put true crime in the title. And the reason why I've chosen to do this is because A, it is spooky season, and I chose to read murder mysteries instead of horror because I don't scare easily. So the whole thing about horror books would be lost on me because I wouldn't be scared. So I chose to do a murder mystery series instead because I don't really read a lot of murder mysteries. I like to get more into it. I enjoy them. But I do watch a lot of true crime TV. I watch the ID channel a lot. And I also watch like fictional crime shows like Murder, She Wrote and Monk. And so therefore, I feel like I am an expert, and I probably should have been a detective or a police officer, then detective, and not a librarian. But it's too late now. I'm a librarian who reads detective murder mystery novels. If you want to find out how I did in my previous 2 episodes, you can. I'm not going to tell you because then you're not going to see. You're not going to go watch it. See if I solved the murder mystery or not. But I'm going to get another chance, and today's book is A Flicker in the Dark by, I never know these people's names, Stacy Willingham. This book came out earlier this year, and I want you to take a look at this book. It looks brand new, right? Brand new. Hardback. Now I want you to guess how much I paid for this brand new hardback book. That would have been between $25 and $30 at the Barnes & Nobles. And yes, I know it is Barnes & Noble. Do not correct me. $27.99 at the old Barnes & Nobles. Guess how much I paid? I had to think. $6.60. And where, Dawn, did you get a brand new book for $6.60? A hardcover? At a library book sale. I have a whole series where I go to library book sales and try and find a deal. And I found this baby there, $6.60. Actually, it would have been cheaper, but I went on the very first day and they upped the price. They upped it like 20%. So this is my little public service announcement as a librarian to check your local library's book sales or see if your library has a bookstore, because it is not old, discarded library books, because nobody wants those. They're gross. Nobody wants those. You want a brand new book. And a lot of times, library book sales and bookstores have brand new books. All right, enough of that. Okay, so let's get into what this book is about. This book is about, I've already forgotten her name, Chloe. I'm horrible with names. Chloe is a psychiatrist, or is she a psychologist? There's different. One can prescribe medication and one can't. She's a psychologist. Chloe's a psychologist, but when she was 12 years old, her father was accused and convicted of killing 6 teenage girls. She and her brother and her mother have had to live with that stigma for a very long time, but she went to college and she became a psychologist. psychologist, and she's getting married. She's doing okay in life until in the same town, young girls have started to turn up dead. So it's dredging up all these old memories. And we're pretty much going to find out if her father is actually the killer or not. Spoiler alert, I'm going to say he's not. I'm going to get started. I will be listening to this unscripted as well as read the book. And so I'll be checking in periodically. This is also a reading vlog. You're welcome. I've come to a moment in the book where it's a flashback to when she was 12 years old and the girls had started to go missing in her town. And of course, her parents are like, oh my goodness, you know, be careful. I don't know how big this town is, but because I live in a medium-sized town, about 40,000 people. And if one girl goes missing in my little town, everybody knows about it, and it's like high alert. I'm assuming this town is less than that. So 6 girls going missing. Everybody notices. But her parents obviously are like really worried. They're like, you know, just watch your surroundings, be careful. At this point in the book, we know that her father is in prison and that he has been convicted of all those murders of those girls. And so in the flashback, he says, don't be stupid. And the mom was like, oh, stop it. Don't say that. And he's like, don't be stupid. In other words, he's victim blaming. It's the girls' fault that they got kidnapped and killed and God knows whatever because they were stupid. I think that's a great line. Just little subtle writing like that is what I love. Don't be stupid. Oh, God. This whole vlog is spoilers. So if you have not read this book and you plan on reading it, thank you for joining me so far, but all of this is going to be spoilers. So just so you know. Okay. Time to read. All right. So I like the way that this book is being written. I think that she a debut. I think her writing style is very good. This is a debut. Well, it's pretty good for debut so far. So we have been introduced to the fiancé and the brother. And actually the father, kind of. But right now, the fiancé and the brother. And it's the day after her engagement party. And her fiancé is like, I'm going to go out of town. I have to go out of town. I told you this. And she's like, I don't remember you telling me that. And he's like, yeah, I told you. So this is what we call the classic unreliable narrator, which Dawn loves. Both of them are unreliable. So you don't know if he actually did tell her and she forgot, or if he's gaslighting her. She also described the moment that she met him. So he kind of found her. So I don't know. And her brother said that just be careful of him because his motives for dating you might not be as honorable as you think. Now, the brother pointing that out could be a red herring or not. It could be a double red herring. It's where the author wants you to think it's a red herring, but really it's not. Did he intentionally find her and want to date her because of her father? He idolized her father and maybe he's a copycat? I don't know. But that is what the book is setting you up to believe, which I love because at this point, you know, I'm not that far into the book, 70 pages or so. I'm sorry, I keep licking because this lipstick is weird. It's always me in this lipstick. It has a very weird texture. Let me hold it up. This is the lipstick. It kind of looks like the Bullet lipstick from I'm kind of into lipsticks now, but I got it on Amazon. But yeah, it's number 16, just in case you're wondering. But it has a really weird finish, like velvety, and it's like, sorry. You don't care. You didn't come here for lipstick recommendations. You came here for murder mysteries. Basically, what I'm saying is I like it so far. Okay, so I have been listening to it while I kind of tut around the house. And here is where we're at. I'm on chapter 14, so I'm like 100 pages in. And I don't want to make a prediction now. It's early days. But this book is setting up to make you think that it's the brother. At least it is for me. Because we have the father. So we had a flashback when the police, you know, they come to take the father away. They found some evidence in his closet. And he confessed. And he took the popos to the bodies, or what was left of the bodies. And she also has had a vision of her father coming home in the dark with a shovel over her shoulder. Okay. However, it's kind of setting, it's not setting it up. Maybe it's just me who watches a lot of crime TV, where I know that sometimes parents will cover for their kids. So maybe it was the brother, because he was the golden boy. He had porn, which is an indication that he's gonna, which is not. But it's also an early sign of men who are, or young boys or men who are obsessed with porn. They kind of have a warped reality of what women are and who they are and how they should be treated and seen as. You know, they become abusers and killers. Ted Bundy famously had a lot of porn. That's what they're trying to say about. I know a lot about serial killers, so just in case I didn't mention that, I watch a lot of documentaries and stuff about serial killers. I know a lot about Ted Bundy. I just thought it was very interesting that, of course, they mentioned that, or the author mentions that he had porn. That her father didn't seem like the type of man who would be a killer. However, the BTK killer also was a family man, was head of the church, a church committee. Like, that means nothing. That means absolutely nothing. Once again, the BTK, I've watched a lot about the BTK killer. They just found evidence in her father's closet. Okay. He could have put that there. He lived in the house. Like, it doesn't necessarily mean that the father is guilty. And because there are new girls going missing, one could surmise that they caught the wrong person. So we have a girl who has gone missing. She has turned up dead. And her fiance is conveniently out of town. So now we have that. So I can't make a prediction or anything yet because everyone's a suspect. Everyone's a suspect. I will be back with an update. What time is it? Have I eaten? It's the next day. Update on the Flicker in the Dark. I'm on page like 200. Cardon. Hello, Cardon. And the author is doing a really good job of making you change your mind about who you think it is and what you think it is. So I keep going back and forth between the brother and the fiance. I think I already told you why I think it's the brother. I think the father is just covering for him, but I have no evidence to support said claim. And then there's the brother, which I have a little bit more evidence. But so here's not the brother, the fiance. For the fiance, I have a little bit of not evidence, but just personality issues that I'm having with him. Like personality clues, whereas the brother, I don't really have any personality clue issues. So with the fiance, he seems to like to scare her on purpose. And once again, I told you I watch a lot of ID channel. And so in one of those episodes, there was a woman who said that her husband liked to scare her on purpose. And when they were having sex, he would be really rough with her, choking her. He would like to jump out on her and pretend he was a burglar and all this stuff. And the whole point of him doing that was practice to see, oh, if I jump out at a woman, how are they going to react? And this is my counter react. Like, it was that. And he also he got a sexual arousement from scaring women. So Daniel, I think that's the fiance's name, he gave her a surprise engagement party. The woman does not like surprises. Like, he's known her for a year. He should know that. He did it on purpose. When they were at her house or their house and they were about to get their freak on, he's like touching her face, and he like holds her neck really tight, like to strangle her. And he did something else. It's just something. I don't know if it was when he came home or something. I don't know, but he did something else. So he seems to like to scare her on purpose. And so that is a red flag, if you will. But once again, I have no other clues to support that it is the fiance. So I don't know if he's related to one of the dead girls. He just seems to be not in town when things go down. Like, he's always out of town, which is convenient to him always being out of town. And right now she's pointing to the father of Lena, but I don't think it's him. Obviously he's a red herring. So all right, so I am off to work. This is why it's car dawn today. I'm off to work. I said this at the beginning of the video, I'm a public librarian, and I am going to go to work today. It's a Saturday. I work every other Saturday, and I'm off to work. First, I'll be going to McDonald's and getting myself some coffee because it's delicious, and then I'll be off to work. So the next time you see me, I'll be at work. And I'm at work. Hello. All right, so I am on chapter 30, and she has found, once again, jewelry in somebody's closet. This time it is her fiance. But I'm more than 100 pages out, so I feel like that's too early for it to be him. She's pointing the finger at Daniel, and that's usually a red herring. But I don't know. I don't think this book is, I don't know. I'll keep reading. Update. I don't know what chapter I'm on. I don't know. But we are really getting an unreliable narrator shoved down our throat. As I already said before, she is paranoid. She takes drugs, prescription pills, she drinks. She has a history of snooping and getting caught and everything. So we're really painting her. I think it's a little too much, and it's not very subtle. I like more of a subtle, unreliable narrator, but that's not like a make or break moment for this book for me. However, people that she comes in contact with are disappearing. So the girl from the venue has disappeared. The girl that was in her office to get treatment has disappeared. And it seems like whoever this is pinning it on her. I don't know why her brother would do that. He doesn't seem to have a motive to do that. Daniel does, though, because Daniel might be related to one of the victims or something. Or he might be just obsessed. But I think he might be related to one of the victims. I think the next person to go missing is her friend's stepdaughter. Shannon is her friend, and Shannon has a teenage stepdaughter. So I think she's going to be the next to go missing. She's going to be the last person to go missing, because that's the only other teen girl that has been mentioned in the book. Okay, I'm just going to make a definitive guess. I'm just going to do it. Oh, God. I'm going to be so wrong. I don't know if he's a red herring. Daniel is a red herring, and it's really her ex-boyfriend from college and bullshit. Or if it is Daniel, and all of this time we have left in the book is her, like I said, solving it herself, doing it herself. So it's either Daniel or it's the brother. And once again, I have no evidence to support anything. They have not really given any evidence. So I don't think it's my fault that I can't provide any evidence. So I'm just going to make a clear guess out of the blue based on motive and opportunity. Okay. So we don't know really anything about Cooper, the brother. She doesn't really talk about him. We don't really know his goings on or anything. And although he does have a good motive, not motive, but it is likely that the father covered for him. There is no motive for him to be killing again and to be killing girls that are connected to Chloe. There's no reason for him to do that. Why would he do that? There's no motive for him to do that. Whereas Daniel does have motive, because he could be a relative of someone that her father killed, or he could just be, it would make sense that he would be a relative and that he's trying to get back at her by killing girls around her. That's my guess. It is the fiance, and the motive, I gotta pick one. What would make more sense is that he is a relative and he's angry and he's punishing the father through Chloe. That would make more sense. And this book does not strike me as sensational. It doesn't strike me as the type of book that would be like, I'm doing this because I idolize your father. It's a copycat. I don't see that, because this book, like I said, is not sensational. So I'm gonna go with he's a relative, even though that is a trope, a huge trope. But that's my final guess. I'm probably wrong. I'm probably all kind of wrong. Okay, home stretch, here we go. Okay, I know one thing. It better not be the journalist. It better not be the journalist. She looked him up. She looked him up and found nothing. It better not be the journalist. I'm gonna be pissed if it's the journalist. That's all I gotta say.
Partially obscuring my face. It feels cartoonish, putting on a pair of glasses as a disguise, something out of a bad movie. I don't think Diana's ever seen a picture of me, but I can't know for certain. For that reason, I want to make myself look different. And I want Erin to do most of the talking. Okay, so what's the plan again? She continues, before she went missing.
She said Daniel's house.
Oh, just getting out of here, she says, gesturing to the room around us. She was better than this. Better than us. Who is us? Erin asked.
Okay, wait a minute. Did I miss that he had a sister that went missing? Did I miss that somewhere? I must have missed that somewhere.
She's going to say before she has the chance to say.
She's missing.
She's gone. What do you mean she's gone? Chloe, where are you? I have a voicemail, and for a second I consider deleting it. I can't hear his voice right now.
The journalist isn't there.
But what if he has Riley? What if I can still save her? I press the recording and lift the phone to my ear. His voice seeps into my brain, slippery like oil, filling every corner. I eye that long path I used to run down, kicking up dust before vanishing into the trees, running up the porch step.
Okay, wait a minute, wait. She said that boy slammed my head into the concrete of what my father did to his sister. Would that have been Daniel? Or maybe the journalist? She's mentioned it twice. You don't mention that unless it's important.
Slamming into my father's outstretched.
The only other person who has access to her house that could have put in that necklace. That's not putting this. But why would he take the necklace? I'm convinced that this is a ruse, that it's not Daniel, that she's misleading us on purpose. Because Cooper had access to her house. He had a key. He could have put the necklace there.
We chose to abandon this place too, weren't we? Enveloping my shoes, staining the soles. It just kept coming, like someone had taken a pair of scissors to a rubber hose, letting the liquid gush.
All right, so was the journalist. It doesn't count though. It was just one of my mini speculations, but it wasn't my final guess, so it doesn't count. All right, folks, I was wrong. One of my theories was right. I had like three theories. My theory about Cooper was correct, but I did not make him my final guess. My final guess was Daniel. I should have known he was a red herring, but I thought this author was going to do something different and make the red herring actually the murderer, but no. It was all a red herring. I was wrong. Ultimately, my final guess was wrong. One of my theories was correct. It was Cooper. His father was covering for him, but I couldn't understand why he would kill. That was what was tripping me up. I couldn't understand why Cooper would start killing again and killing girls that she knew. If he loves his sister, which I felt like he really loves his sister, he was just trying to shift suspicion off of him and onto Daniel. I don't know if I said this on camera, but I was like, it might be more than one person. And it was more than one person. So I'll give this book a 4. I don't like that we focused so much on Daniel and we had so many clues on Daniel and not enough on Cooper. If there had been equal screen time, book time for Cooper and Daniel, then I would like it a little bit more. But because it was heavily on Daniel and not enough on Cooper, the Cooper thing just kind of came out of nowhere. But I like that she was the one who caught him. She finally like tricked him, got him there, made him confess, drugged him. Like she was smart enough to come up with all of that on her own. Which I shouldn't say smart enough, I should say brave enough. She was brave enough to do it, and I think that's going to help her recovery, is that she took control of the situation. Not doing too well. This little series, I didn't do it. So I did this for Halloween, for October spooky season, but I think I'm going to continue this series because it's actually kind of fun seeing if I can figure out who done it. But I didn't figure out this time. One of my theories was right, but my final guess was wrong. All right, well, thank you for joining me again on Can Dawn Guess the Murderer in a True Crime Fiction Novel. I am 1 for 3. I got one of them. The other 2 I did not. I was close. I was close in this one. The first one, not even. All right, I will catch you in the next video, or I will catch you in the next murder. Bye-bye.